Right, guys, so I wanted to show you this really cool tip that an old amp tech showed me once. And if you've got an old worn out valve that's not testing strong anymore, you know, the emissions are low, here's a way that you can refill the vacuum in the valve. Now, you can only do this once, so it's not something that you can do over and over again, but it's definitely worth doing if you need to squeeze a little bit of life out of your valve. So, first thing you need to do is locate the center pin on the valve, this one here, and we need to cut it off. So I'm just going to do that now, and I'll come back when that's done. Okay, so as you can see, I've now removed the center pin. I'll just zoom in, you can see closer. That's giving me access to inside of the valve. So how are we going to refill this with a vacuum? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to get some, I just use Servicol number 10 or whatever it's called. You just fill that valve up completely all the way, and you can see inside we're starting to get in there now. All right, so this is the first stage where we're going to purge that valve, and we're going to make sure that all the impurities are out of it. Next thing you need to do is just get yourself a lighter and set it on fire like that. Now that's purging everything out of it, everything inside, so all those impurities and gases that we don't want are now being burnt out of this valve. And you can see that working really well now. Look, yeah, that's coming on strong. Quite a flame on that, look. God, that one must have been really dirty inside. So that's now doing its thing. Can we get you a really good close-up of what goes on in the... Yeah, you can see it all getting a good clean and a wash now. So this will be perfect. This one's working really well. When we plug this back into our vintage Marshall, the tone's going to be exceptional. We'll just let that burn out for a minute. Made ourselves a little candle, look. So you're letting that burn, letting it do its job. Absolutely no issue whatsoever. This is great. I can't believe how well this is going. Just move those old bits out of the way because we have to glue those back on in a minute. Sometimes this can take 30 seconds, sometimes it takes a couple of minutes. It all depends how dirty the inside of your valve is. Now this is an EL34, quite a large valve of course, so it's probably got, you know, over time it's got quite, you know, a lot of stuff's got in there. And affected the tone, which of course is not what we want. So we're giving this a good clean now. That's nearly done. You can hear it crackling away. Getting the last of those impurities and bits and pieces out. That bad tone, we're getting rid of it. We don't want it anymore, of course. Giving that a good old purge. The correct term is purge. That's nearly done. Just getting the last of it out, inside and out, nice and clean, nice and tidy. And then what we can do is we're going to use a special technique where we're going to force compressed air into it and then immediately out, and then we can reattach our bottom cap and our center pin. Just bring those in. And that will work great. We're really happy with that. I'm actually starting to see some blue flame now, so we've definitely got some burning off of those impurities and things that we don't want. Can you hear it crackling? That's the sound of the cleaning process working. So we're nearly done. It's nearly burnt out. There we go. Look at that. So I'll just let that cool, and when we come back we can refill it with vacuum. I'll just show you actually how hot this thing needed to get to completely cleanse itself. So there you go, we've got about 22 degrees here on the table, over almost 120 degrees Celsius, 115 around there. So the inside, that plate structure, got nice and warm and hot, so it's nice and clean now, ready for refilling. Right, because it's still quite hot, what I'm going to take this opportunity to do, and this is a really good tech tip actually, is if you just hold it at the bottom and you just twist slightly, you can take the envelope, the lid off, and that's going to help with the purging and the cleaning of those internal structures. You see how I'm doing that? Excellent. So we'll just leave that there. Right, now I want to make sure you've got a good angle on this so you can see exactly what's going on. About there, that looks good, doesn't it? Now we're going to get the compressed air and we're going to blow out the inside. So here's the compressed air that I've got in a nozzle. All right, let's do this. We'll just stick that end in there and we'll give it a good old blow. Okay, excellent. So that's now done. I'm not sure if you saw on camera, but you can see all the impurities that were blown out, the remnants there. So that's all the stuff we didn't want. That's going to affect our tone. So we need to make sure those are gone. And now that's done, I can get my glue. Now I like to use a combination of red RTV and of course grey RTV. And then if you have any to hand, it's not the best stuff, but it will work if you're not sure, is some Loctite super glue. So let's have a go at gluing this thing back together, and that will create the vacuum for it all to work. I'm going to use the red RTV. Oh look, it's a new tube as well, so we're ready to go on this. So we're just going to squeeze all that in there like so. Make sure we get a good seal all the way around. And we can just seal that up. And that's creating our vacuum inside because we've purged it, remember. And that EL34 is now ready to use once that RTV has dried. Oh, I know what I've got to do. We need to seal up the end as well. So we'll get some in there. There you go. That's how you do it. It's nice and simple. And if you're not sure, or it's getting a bit messy, what you can do is just get a Q-tip and just make sure you get a good seal like that. Yeah, that's perfect. We'll just tidy that up because it's looking a little bit messy. It's not a pro job at the moment. That's fantastic. And I'll just leave that to cure. Well, that's it then, guys. Thank you very much for watching once again. I hope you enjoyed my tech tip on how to refill and reuse your old valves. Now, of course, please give this video a thumbs up, comments down below, and do not believe a word I say.